I am here with Laura Jones, who is the CEO of VML's BAV Group. Welcome, Laura, and it's terrific to have you on with Outthinkers.
Thanks. Great to be here.
You've spent a lot of time studying brands, the impact of brands, and growth. What do you think, from your perspective, leaders need to be most focused on when it comes to driving growth today?
Absolutely. Well, if the past few years have taught us anything, it's that an over reliance on performance based metrics is kind of not the whole story. Now we're seeing this call for a much more balanced approach to understanding growth, and not just in the short term perspective, but over the long term as well. If you think about a brand is really your insurance policy, right? It's your multiplier. It's something that promises future cash flows. And while performance metrics are very important, they're great. They really can help CFOs, CMOs, the board understand how your immediate marketing investments are performing. That river can run dry if you're not constantly thinking about the consistency of what a brand provides.
The next question I wanted to pose for you is really helping us understand what is the role and impact of customer experience on brand equity and brand value.
Absolutely. So at BAV Group and VML, we were extremely curious on just that and really searching for some empirical evidence about how BX, CX, and commerce work together. So brand experience, customer experience, and commerce all work together. Because what we were seeing from our clients is that so many different metrics existed. You've got on the BX side, you've got your things like trackers and brand equity measures and awareness, salience metrics, attitude and usage, all those types of things. On the commerce side, obviously, you've got conversion and all your first party data, et cetera. And then a CX perspective, things like CSAT and all of your typical CX metrics. But they weren't really talking to one another. And more interestingly, the clients behind those metrics and the organizations and the way that they were structured aren't really talking to one another. And so we set out to really uncover and understand what is the relationship between these metrics. And so we did some modeling using our brand asset valuator data set. And what we found was that brand experience alone only drives 37% of brand equity, while commerce and CX drive the remaining 63%. So there is an extreme need for these facets, brand experience, customer experience, and commerce, to be a joint venture, to really be managed and built from a central point. And we're just seeing that today in organizational structures, in leadership structures, in budgets. But it is so important. If you really think about it, you've got the experience and then the expectation. So if you think about brand experience and brand, all about setting that expectation. What do I want people to know about the brand that haven't yet experienced the brand? And that's typically delivered through marketing, communications, influencers, the whole gamut that marketers have today to get their message out. And then so much of that is really driven by the experience, right? So much of delivering on that promise is through the experience. And so when expectations are in line with the experience, that can be a really powerful thing. But a lot of things can happen and go wrong in the in-between.
What are the biggest barriers or challenges that customer and strategy leaders face when it comes to driving this customer focus across the organization and delivering on a customer growth strategy?
One of the biggest challenges is something that is very easily overcome, which is just putting yourself in the mind and the places of your customers, right? It's just getting out there, going through the experiences, not only your own site experiences and purchase experiences and in-store experiences, but that of your competitors as well, and understanding what is happening not only within your category, but most importantly, outside of your category. Because the bar gets raised in one area, and then the expectation from customers is that every single experience is going to live up to that bar. A lot of times clients will come to us and say, I want this to be iPhone easy, right? So all the tech companies are making it that much harder for you selling toothpaste that now also needs to be a tech company. So don't underestimate the importance of being out in the world and really having those experiences, and not only just talking to your customers, but actually having the lived experience of the customers. But then also recognizing that you are not the customer. Sometimes you might be, but as an executive, many times you might not be. And your role is really then to rely on your team, to many different ranges of experiences, to bring in subject matter experts and people that have experience in the lives of your customers to add in that commentary and that understanding. The second barrier, I would say, really is something I had mentioned earlier, which is just recognizing how interdependent all of the functions are with one another and really being that quarterback, right? So many times we're all moving full steam ahead. We've got our individual KPIs, we've got our organizational KPIs. We might be focused on incentive metrics or growth metrics, or if you're private equity backed, you might have a ticking time clock on exit. So many different pressures. And oftentimes it can kind of feel like it's going to take longer to collaborate. But I have found time and time again that setting the expectation that collaboration is the norm, you can go much farther, much faster by defining the interdependencies, developing a cadence at which you're going to share information, and really just doing things once and doing them the right way versus everyone running in their separate directions and then trying to force fit it in the back as well. So we found that our clients don't need more data. They actually need better decision-making engines for growth. And so when you think about building an entire either marketing analytics framework or an intelligence platform, we really like to help clients give them what they need to make them feel confident and bold in their decision making. And I just say, to put it out there, take an audit of all of the data that you have. And this is an incredible use and application for AI. I know there's so much exploration in the space. There's many, many different things from an efficiency standpoint that we can be doing with AI. But one of the best ways that I've found to use AI is really to enhance creativity and to push the boundaries of what we know. And so all of that data that your company is sitting on, all of those research reports, and think of that as a repository. And as a CX leader or even as a marketing leader, one of the things that you can do from an AI perspective is to start building a layer on top of value add to all of that, to really put all of that investment that you've already made into even more use for your organization.